Regarding auto trust, can you give details for obtaining insurance for trustee?
Okay. State of California, when you received your requirements for insurance, it stated right on the document what the state of California Department of Motor Vehicles requires for insurance. And it states right on there that a $35,000 private bond can be issued for insurance. Um, First of all, we're talking about the DMV, which is availing itself of benefits and privileges. So are we even involving ourselves with the DMV? Well, why would we're not part of the
No, you just
part of that?
you're not part of the DMV.
Yeah.
You do want to show financial responsibility for the conveyance that belongs to the trust. So
The
if your
prove
vessel,
aspect, by the way, I want to force that. Like I know we talk about promissory notes, we talk about bonds, we talk about all of these things, but we're talking about the safety of your family and others. We're not looking to sidestep what has been created because what has been created is for the utmost safety. Any arbitrary rules on the road are kind of substandard, but the application for a driver's license, there's a reason that that exists. And that's a data integrity standard that ensures that individuals that have gone and are on the road know how to handle themselves and are safe to drive around others or to transport others around others. The fact is that these are set in place for a purpose. They're set in place for safety and security for some measures. They're set in place for revenue for others. But all of them are there for a purpose. The only thing we wish to sidestep is availing ourselves to the benefits and privileges of the chartered organizations that maintain a jurisdiction and would eventually avail a jurisdiction to us. So what we want to do is if there's a license, there's no real true need for a license if you are just transporting trust property by way of right to travel. This I always bring up Jesse James in this, okay? Because Jesse James had a vehicle of his. He created a motorcycle, he test drove it, and it exploded on him. It caught fire on the highway. They couldn't write him a ticket because the property was his own private property that he was traveling on. There was no state registration for the property because he owned the manufacturer's statement of origin. He was the manufacturer's statement of origin. Because of that, no ticket was issued. Well, how can they issue a ticket for something that isn't part of the state's property? So the fact that he had a license, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but it's truly up to you how you're going to handle your affairs. I've been pulled over once in the last 4 years, but when I drive around, there's clear California registration on the car that I'm traveling in. So for me, it's a different story. It's very easy for me to travel around in a car that's registered in the state of California because nobody bothers me. Do they know that whether or not my license is valid or whether or not insurance is valid or whether or not any of those things? No, they don't. But they do know that at first glance, things look on the up and up. And until you injure a party or you injure a party based on the state's claim, then you're pretty much not going to be questioned. So it's entirely up to you how you operate. When you want to walk through and you have your trust documents with you, you have your authorization of trustee, you have your trust identification with you, you have an asset-backed security or a bond that proves beyond a reasonable doubt with a third-party appraisal that you have financial security ensuring the driving of that vehicle, and that the manufacturer statement of origin is registered with the trust and that they've issued a certificate of title for that vehicle, just like any other trust does, any other state or country, then you might be in a pretty strong position to stand your ground. And if you are imposed upon or if there is some form of encumbrance that the state wishes to affect on you, you have very strong grounds to recover or remedy that which you've lost.